attached to me, it is safe to assume that I am Victor Borge. Well, I have grown particularly attached to this finger here. Because, look, it can do things like that. Also under the finger. The other finger can do the same thing. So I'm also attached to the other fingers, of course. And if it weren't for my fingers, I probably wouldn't have been a pianist to begin with. Because it's terribly difficult to play with one's feet. Unless, of course, one absolutely has to. I remember an incident, it was in Hawaii a few years ago. I was out in the surf, and as I went back to the beach, I broke a toe on a corral. And I went to the hospital immediately. I had a doctor put a splint on my toe, and he said, well, Mr. Borge, how are you going to play tonight? I said, Doctor, I'm afraid I will have to use my hands. You know, people ask me all the time, how is it possible for so few fingers to play so many notes? Well, I don't know the exact answer, but I would say that without practical finger exercises, it would be absolutely impossible. You know, without exercises, instead of playing like this, your fingers would become stiff and hard, and would sound like this. We have a musical term for that. It's called ja. Now, I want you to know what is true about the fingers is also true about your body. If you don't exercise it at all, it just works like ja. What most people call getting old is not getting old at all. It is just getting stiff from lack of exercise. Now, when that happens, it says here, the circulation is bad, which affects the heart, the lungs, the blood vessels, and indeed all the systems of the body. Now, when you are in this condition, you feel old, and it says here, it affects your mental attitude as well. Now, the remedy for this is exercise. You'll be surprised how easy it is. Now, watch me. I'll show you what I do every morning when I wake up. The first one is called rotating the head. Now, the first thing I do, of course, is take my microphone in the morning. And I tie myself. And now I rotate my head. And that's called rotating the head because that's what it is, and that's why it's called rotating the head. Just be sure it doesn't fall off. Now the next exercise is called bend and stretch, and this is how it's done. May I have some applause, please? Thank you. As simple as that. Just bend, stretch, anything that moves any part of the body. If you had only continued the applause, I would have been in perfect condition. The next exercise is walking. Simple walking. You can start out by walking just 2 minutes every morning. I do a lot of walking myself. As a matter of fact, right now I'm going to walk right over to my dear friend, Dr. Theodore Klump. Dr. Klump is an eminent expert on aging. Tell us, Doctor, how can we help stem the aging process?
Well, first of all, we must realize that aging just doesn't occur automatically. It occurs as the result of changes in our glands of internal secretion, our endocrine glands. Now, these are the same glands that determine our growth from the time that we're born and our maturity. Well, they're the very same ones that are responsible for the process of aging. Now, if they're kept active, we will remain young longer. And the question has been before people for a long time, how do you keep young? How do you keep these glands active? Well, we're discovering that exercise and activity and use is an important way of keeping these glands active, Victor.
In other words, by choosing to be an active person, you are really controlling your own aging process.
You are in control of it as much as we possibly can be.
And I guess one of the problems is that people, as they get older and heavier, they just sit and sit and sit, and they don't get exercise. That's the point of the whole story.
You and I know what the benefits of exercise are, Victor, in making us feel better, and science has demonstrated making us live longer, too. But unfortunately, there are just millions and millions of people who don't know this. For those millions that are not getting enough, there are now organized programs coming into being. Now, we've arranged to meet some of these active people over 60, so we can see just how one of these very important programs works. Joining the active people of over 60. I congratulate you. Isn't it wonderful that with a little bit of exercise, or a lot of it, instead of feeling like this, you feel like this. Isn't it marvelous that when you get a little older, you feel a little bit younger?